What if I told you that one company owns pieces of every major business on Earth? What if I told you that this same company controls $10 trillion in assets, more money than entire continents make? What if I told you that when their CEO writes a letter, entire governments change their policies? And what if I told you that most people have never even heard their name? By the end of this video, you'll understand how BlackRock became the most powerful company in human history. You'll discover how they secretly control your pension, your mortgage, and your future. You'll learn why governments around the world take orders from them, and you'll realize that everything you thought you knew about capitalism is wrong. Because BlackRock isn't just a company. They're the shadow government of the global economy. Picture this scene. It's March 23, 2020. The Federal Reserve Building in Washington, D.C. Inside. Emergency meetings are happening around the clock. The global economy is crashing. Stock markets are down 30%. Banks are failing. The entire financial system is about to collapse. Who does the most powerful central bank in the world call for help? Not Goldman Sachs. Not J.P. Morgan. Not the U.S. Treasury. They call BlackRock within 48 hours. BlackRock is given control of a $750 billion emergency fund. Their job? Save the global economy. No congressional approval, no public debate, no oversight. One phone call, and suddenly, private company controls. $750 billion. But here's the shocking part. This wasn't unusual. This was just Tuesday at BlackRock. Because they've been controlling the global economy for decades, most people just didn't know it. Let me tell you about Larry Fink, the man who controls more wealth than most kings in history. Born in 1952 in Van Nuys, California, middle-class family. Nothing special today. He's the most powerful person you've never heard of, as CEO of BlackRock. Fink manages $10.6 trillion in assets. To put that in perspective, that's half the GDP of the entire United States. It's bigger than the economies of China and Japan combined. If BlackRock was a country, it would be the third largest economy on Earth. But Larry Fink isn't elected. He doesn't answer to voters. He answers to no one. Yet he has more influence over your daily life than any president or prime minister. Here's how. BlackRock owns shares in 18,000 companies worldwide. Apple. BlackRock owns 7.6% of it. Microsoft, 7.5%. Amazon, 6.2%. Google, 7.7%. Facebook, 7.5%. They own pieces of every company in your daily life. Your phone, your computer, your social media, your shopping. BlackRock profits from all of it, but it gets stranger. BlackRock also owns shares in all their competitors. They own Coca-Cola and Pepsi, McDonald's, Burger King, Ford and General Motors, Netflix, and Disney. Walmart and Target. No matter what you buy, BlackRock wins. No matter which company succeeds, how BlackRock profits, they've eliminated competition by owning everyone. It's the perfect monopoly, hidden in plain sight. But owning companies is just the beginning. BlackRock's real power comes from something. It's called proxy voting. When you own shares in a company, you get to vote on major decisions. Who becomes CEO, what policies the company follows, how much executives get paid. BlackRock owns shares in almost every public company. That means they vote in almost every corporate election. And their votes usually decide the outcome. In 2021, BlackRock single-handedly replaced 3 board members at ExxonMobil. Why? Because ExxonMobil wasn't following BlackRock's climate agenda. One company overruled the wishes of millions of shareholders. Because BlackRock's vote was bigger than everyone else's combined. They don't just own companies, they control them. Now let me show you something that will make your blood boil. Every year, Larry Fink writes a letter to CEOs. It's not a suggestion. It's a command. The letter tells companies what policies they must follow, what social causes they must support, what political positions they must take. If companies don't obey, BlackRock votes them out in 2022. Fink's letter demanded that all companies adopt net zero carbon policies. Within months, hundreds of companies changed their entire business models, not because customers wanted it, not because governments required it, because BlackRock ordered it. One man's letter is reshaping the entire global economy. But here's the twisted part. Those companies BlackRock is forcing to change, your pension fund owns shares in them. Your 401k owns shares in them. BlackRock is using your money to push their agenda, and you have no say in it. Let me tell you about Jennifer from Phoenix. Jennifer is a teacher. For 20 years, she's been putting money into her pension fund. She thinks that money is being invested to help her retire. She's wrong. Jennifer's pension fund gave her money to BlackRock to manage. BlackRock is now using Jennifer's retirement savings to buy shares in companies, then using those shares to push political agendas. Jennifer disagrees with Jennifer is unknowingly funding policies she opposes with her own retirement money, and she has no way to stop it. This is happening to millions of people worldwide. Their own savings are being used against their interests by a company they've never heard of, run by a man they never elected. But BlackRock's control goes even deeper. They don't just influence companies, they control governments. BlackRock has a consulting division called BlackRock Solutions. Their clients, central banks and governments around the world. The Federal Reserve pays BlackRock millions to manage their bond purchases. The European Central Bank hired BlackRock to design their monetary policy. The Bank of Japan uses BlackRock's risk management systems. BlackRock literally tells these institutions how to run their economies. While simultaneously betting on the results, they're the dealer and the player in the same casino, and the house always wins. During the 2008 financial crisis, something bizarre happened. The U.S. government needed to buy toxic assets from failing banks. Who did they hire to manage this program? BlackRock, the same company that had invested in those toxic assets. BlackRock was paid to clean up a mess that they helped create. Using taxpayer money, it gets worse. Many of the assets BlackRock bought for the government, they later bought for themselves at much lower prices. They used inside information from their government contract to make massive profits for their private funds. It's the ultimate conflict of interest, and it's completely legal. BlackRock has also cornered the housing market. Since 2020, they've spent billions buying single-family homes, not to live in them, not to rent them out, to artificially reduce supply. When there are fewer homes for sale, prices go up. BlackRock owns shares in all the major home builders. Higher home prices mean higher profits for those companies. Higher profits mean BlackRock's investments go up. They're manipulating the housing market for your profit. While families struggle to afford homes, it's economic warfare against ordinary people. Now, here's where it gets really dark. BlackRock doesn't just control markets. They control information. BlackRock owns shares in every major media company. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, The New York Times, The Wall Street Journal. They own pieces of all of them. When these news outlets report on BlackRock, they're reporting on their own shareholder. That's why you rarely hear negative stories about BlackRock. The media companies can't bite the hand that feeds them. Information warfare, controlling both the news and the markets. At the same time, BlackRock's ultimate weapon is something called Aladdin. It's not a person, it's an AI system. Aladdin processes 30 million calculations every day. It analyzes every trade, it's every price movement, every economic trend. It predicts market crashes before they happen. It identifies profitable investments before anyone else sees them. It's like having a crystal ball for the entire global economy. But here's the terrifying part. BlackRock licenses Aladdin to other investment firms. Those firms pay BlackRock for access to their AI system. Then they make investment decisions based on Aladdin's recommendations. BlackRock is literally controlling how other companies invest, while simultaneously competing against them. It's the ultimate insider. It's a trading scheme, completely legal, and absolutely devastating to free markets. So what happens if BlackRock's control is finally exposed? What if people realize that one company controls their retirement, their housing, their news, and their government? What if shareholders and pension funds demand their money back? What if governments realize they've handed economic control to a private corporation? The backlash would be immediate. Regulatory investigations would launch overnight. Antitrust lawsuits would flood the courts. Governments would be forced to break up the monopoly stock markets. It would crash as BlackRock was forced to sell assets. The entire global financial system would need to be rebuilt. But here's why that won't happen easily, BlackRock. It's made themselves too big to fail. They manage the retirement savings of teachers, firefighters, and police officers. They hold the pension funds of government employees. Any attack on BlackRock is an attack on ordinary people's retirement security. It's the perfect shield. They've weaponized your grandmother's pension against economic justice, but their system has one. It's fatal weakness. They need your participation. Every dollar in your 401k that goes to a BlackRock fund gives them more power. Every pension contribution that flows to BlackRock strengthens their control. They're powerful because we give them power. Without our money, they're nothing. So here's how you fight back. Check your retirement accounts. If your money is in BlackRock funds, move it elsewhere. Support local banks instead of mega banks that work with BlackRock. Invest in individual companies instead of BlackRock ETFs. Buy a house from a local builder, not a corporate investor. Support independent media instead of BlackRock-owned outlets. Every dollar you redirect is power you take back. Imagine a world where investment decisions weren't controlled by one AI system, where companies answered to customers, not to Larry Fink's annual letter, where your retirement savings worked for your interests. It's not a corporate agenda, where housing prices reflected actual supply and demand, not market manipulation, where news media reported truth instead of protecting their shareholders. That world is possible, but only if people understand what we're really fighting. This isn't about left versus right. This isn't about politics. This is about economic freedom versus corporate control. And right now, corporate control is winning. BlackRock's greatest strength is also their greatest weakness. Secrecy, most. People don't know they exist, don't know what they control, don't know how they've rigged the game. But knowledge is spreading. Videos like this are waking people up. Independent researchers are exposing their tactics. Alternative media is telling the stories. Mainstream outlets won't touch. The secret is getting out. And once people understand how the system really works, everything changes. Every person who learns about BlackRock tells someone else. Every dollar moved out of BlackRock funds weakens their grip. Every voice calling for transparency makes them more vulnerable. You are not powerless. You are not alone. You are part of a growing movement of people who refuse to let one company control everything. The revolution won't be violent. It will be financial. It starts with education. It grows through action, and it wins through persistence. If this video revealed the truth about who really controls the global economy, hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden truths they don't want you to discover. Comment below. Did you know BlackRock controlled this much of your life? Because the more people who understand their game, the sooner we can stop playing by their rules. Knowledge is power, and power belongs to the people, not to Larry Fink, not to BlackRock, to you.